NUNO Bettencourt on the KJ Today Show. Yes, it's happening. Thanks for joining us. The KJ Today Show, your place for the positive vibes of pop culture, people to know, and pets.
Hey, KJ, what's up, man?
Oh, my gosh. NUNO, just to give you a little bit of a reference here, I was a little baby DJ in the 90s, and I talked my program director into doing a Headbangers Ball on the radio every Friday night. So while everybody else was playing More Than Words, I was playing Get the Funk Out every Friday night.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Thank you. Thank you. You were the one.
That was me, man.
Nice. So I appreciate that. That means a lot, actually.
Well, you know what? It means a lot that you are here on my show today and just kind of catching up on all the crazy things you've been doing, and excited to have, first of all, let's talk about having Extreme back and having the new single out, Rise, and a new album on the way.
Yeah, look, we're super excited, but we're also really overwhelmed at the response within 2 weeks. We're just beside ourselves, like from, back in the 1900s when you released something, it was more like you couldn't tell what people thought about it. For months you'd have to tour, you had to see what the fans were doing, you had to see what ticket sales were like, or what radio was saying, from requests and things, to see if anybody dug what you're doing. Now, the second it's out, digitally speaking, it's online, and you start seeing by all the views and the comments, and it's been blowing our minds, and we're so blessed and lucky and thankful that not only our fans that stuck with us for so many decades, but also new fans and new responses, and the guitar community, the way they've been really showing so much love. And I'm getting texts and emails and calls from some of my heroes talking about just the one song and the solo, and we're just, our heads are splitting open. We don't know what to think. It's been so incredible, and thank you, people like yourself that support us and play us. It's been really, really amazing. We're so happy.
So, how did this come about, NUNO? That the band was like, "Hey, let's get back together. Let's try this again."
Well, the truth is we've been together. We've been together. We split up for a bit, like in mid-late 90s, because, we didn't know any better, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many behind the music we were going to watch where, managers and agents, they keep you on tour for, they tell you have to tour and tour and tour, or else you're going to lose the fans, you're going to not make any more money and all that stuff. And so you tour so much within a 10-year period. You put like 30 years into a 10-year tour, and then you break up because somebody opened the curtain the wrong way, and it's like being married to 4 people, and you're like, it's just silly, but we just never had breaks from each other. So we took a break. I quit. I left. Gary joined Van Halen. I went and did some other stuff, and then we got together probably like 10 years after, in like 2005, 2004, and we've been together since. But we've just been doing shows, touring, doing stuff, and we did one album in 2007. But the reason we haven't done an album in 15 years, it's not for the lack of material, lack of want. It's just, we've always believed, and myself and Gary especially as the writers always said, look, we will never put anything out that we're not absolutely turned on and cannot wait to share it with y'all. You get this giddiness that when you write something, or the songs that you used to do back in the day when you wanted to play for your best friend or your brother or a musician you knew. If you don't have that kind of passion and that kind of want to share, then it's not ready. We know a lot of our bands from our generation. We kind of we see them in the circuit a lot of the times, and they're amazing, all of them. But I sometimes I talk to them like, yeah, we put out an album. It's kind of like a necessary evil to tour.
Mm-hmm.
But we were never like that. We just never wanted to just these albums will be here long after we're gone, and we always wanted to make sure that once they're in history and they're out there, that they mean something to somebody.
And the new album is 6. It will be out on June 9th. I got to ask about this collaboration from last year, because we just had Julian Lennon on the show. He just put out new music for the first time in over a decade as well. What was it that brought the two of you together for that remake of Imagine?
Well, I think, a little bit was our friendship, because we met years and years ago in Monaco, where he's living, and I was actually there with Rihanna and doing a show there, and and he was in the crowd, and we met, and we just clicked. It was just, and we stayed in touch through the years. Not a lot, but here and there. And then, he said, look, it's one thing to have a dad, but to have John Lennon be your dad, it's not an easy road, right? You're in the shadow of a Beatle, for God's sake, and John Lennon is an icon. And he always said, I would never do that song. I could never do that song. That's my dad's iconic song, and I don't blame him. It's like, how do you touch that? You're the son. But then he said, until it meant something, until it was really needed. And by the way, regardless of what, politically or whatever any of us think about the Ukraine war and Russia and all that, we all got our thoughts, the yays and nays about it. But the reason we did that and the reason he did that was for the right reasons. It was like, look, regardless of what you believe, what your beliefs are, war or no war, when there is, for it or against it, there's always kids and families like ours and moms and dads that are displaced and have nowhere to go when leaders' egos get in the way and they start bombing the shit out of each other, right? Whatever that is. So he was like, this is the time to do it. And when I got that call to do it with him, my heart exploded that he would actually choose me and care, and it's for the song he cares so much about. And came up to my house in the studio and we cut it. Beautiful version, very simple. Didn't want to do it with piano like the original. I said, let's keep it. Let's do something fresh with it. And what a great experience! It raised billions of it not itself, but they chose it at the end of this thing where they raised so much money for refugees and people that were displaced. I mean, how much more proud could we be?
It was absolutely beautiful, and I'm so glad that he chose you as well, because I think it was just this perfect combination. And I gotta just kind of go back a second, because you're just kind of glossed over like, oh yeah, I'm touring with Rihanna. Like a lot of my listeners this morning, I'm like, he was at the Super Bowl and has been touring with Rihanna. Tell us what that has been like for you.
I mean, look, that was one of those things where, first of all, the fact that anybody saw my 1.5 milliseconds of the Super Bowl is a miracle to begin with. They have to have really good eyesight, or they rewound it and froze the damn thing, and then took it to like the FBI and zoomed in and did whatever they did to make sure it was me. But it was such a great experience, and it's been amazing performing with her. Like about 8-10 years ago, I had gotten a call from Tony Bruno, her music director, and he started the conversation by saying, "I know you're going to say no. you're a rocker and you got your band, but she wants to rock out the show. She saw some of your stuff. You'd be perfect for it, And I was like, why not? I'm 45. It's really different. And I said, as long as I get to be me. And he's like, hell yeah, you get to play your rig. You get to be loud. So I get to ruin all those hits that she has. I love it. I'm in. I'm all in. And it was great. She's an amazing woman, amazing girl at the time. I met her when she was like, my God, in her early 20s, and got to know her really well. And she's a sweetheart. And it was just an amazing experience. But then it was time to get back to the mothership, to rock and roll, and here we are.
Well, listening to the new single, it feels like extreme. Like I'm like, I gotta play this on the Friday Night Blaze. It's so good to have you back, Nuno. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And if the tour life comes calling and extreme hits the road, I hope you plan on hitting Indianapolis, because you got a lot of people here that want to see you.
Listen, thank you so much, and thank you for the support back in the day as well. But it means a lot to us. We never know what to expect. We don't take anything for granted, and to have you guys playing us on the radio and all the love you've given us, I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a good day, Nuno.
You too. You too.
Thanks for joining us for another celebrity interview. Of course, the KJ Today Show isn't just about talking to celebs, it's about hanging out with you. Join us live on Wednesday nights for pop culture, people to know, and pets. The KJ Today Show on YouTube. Subscribe and watch live Wednesday nights at 7.